Hey, what's happening, everybody? Willie here, the great outdoors. That's right, I'm back. Gotten some things taken care of, and we are ready to do some fishing. Just got through driving about 100 miles. We are at a state park, as you see when we came in. Pocahontas State Park. Nice little drive here. I've been here a couple times before, but it's been a while. As I recall, I liked the campground and I liked the area. I just didn't care a whole lot about what you drove through to get to it. Some of the roads are nice and long, and Route 5 coming through Williamsburg and all that, that's not bad. But you're really 20 miles from Richmond, city of Richmond. So it's kind of weird that all of a sudden you just drive into an area that just says welcome to a state park, you know. So anyway, we're going to head down to the fishing area and see what we can accomplish. I've casted a line here a couple times before, but we're not going to be okay. We're going to try to catch a fish or 5 or something. Let's get down to the lake and see what we can do. Yeah, we've got geese. Nothing out of the ordinary. I'm pretty sure I just saw 4 deer running into the bushes over there. But let's take a look over here. Whether they have any idea what's in here and what ain't. Now, what I've got here is the bullet with 20-pound braid, 12-pound leader, and a whopper plopper. I don't know that it'll do anything, but let's see. Over there looks pretty good. Oh, look, there's a deer walking right through the swamp over there. So that pretty much tells me the water's not very deep over there. First, let's give this thing a cast just to make sure it works. Yeah, that works. There's deer in the swamp down there. There's the 4 deer I was telling you about. They're actually down there in the swamp. So what is this, like a foot of water? Man, I sure can cast that thing a long way though. Casting into the wind. That's okay. I'm actually using my Abu Garcia Vengeance rod, free rod, that I found at the boat ramp in about 4 foot of water. And there was actually a reel on it, which I'm going to get rid of. A left-handed bait caster, Vengeance Abu Garcia bait caster. It said a 12-pound leader, and that can't be all the line that's on that thing. There's no way. Let me look. It only takes 80 yards. Ooh, goodness gracious, sure enough, that is the end of the line right there. Okay, so one downfall, 80 yards is how far I'm casting that 110, or is that a 90? No, it's a 90 size whopper plopper, and I'm casting it completely out of line. All right, top water wasn't doing anything, so I switched to this little fluker, one that I replaced the cap on, and I gave a cast with the, now this has a, I think it's a 10-pound braid, 6-pound leader, and I was getting some hits with the Charlie Brewer coming across the middle out there. All right, downsized a little bit to the smaller Charlie Brewer in the baby bass color, and we'll see what happens out there. Maybe. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a good fish. I don't know what that is. he is definitely not wanting to come up. What are you? He's not jumping, he's just swimming. Oh no. We caught a toothy critter. I knew something was different there. He's mad. Yes, we have caught us a chain pickerel. Oh, goodness gracious. And he just cut my line. I knew that was going to happen. I don't know if y'all got to see that or not. But all I had was a 6-pound leader on there. And he's got teeth. I did not expect that on that little bitty lure. Did not expect that at all. You always know you're in a good spot when the trees you're in front of look like Christmas trees. Bobbers hanging everywhere. Well, remember what I told y'all about cutting the camera off? But it changed to a darker bait, and we caught us a little bluegill. There we go. Hey, y'all have a snake heading your way. I just thought I'd point it out. What? There's a snake right there heading y'all's way.
I see him. What kind is he?
From this distance, I couldn't tell you. Oh, there we go, another gill. It's got to be a gill. They just fight so nicely. Right on the edge of those bushes, or weeds, or pollywogs. No, it's a frog. Lily pads. That's the word I was going for. So definitely figured out where the gills are. Another nice little gill. Definitely figured out the color after about 7 different color changes. This water's kind of stained, but the bright colors just weren't doing it. Oh, man, that was a good hit. I'm really surprised with size of that toothy rascal I caught this morning, or almost caught this morning, that these gills have managed to last this long out here. If I had $1 for every time they told that kid to stay away from the edge of that waterfall, I'd be a rich man right now. That was a good one. He didn't even bite, it just got heavy. Oh, that's because it was a totally different type of bite. Oh, that was a bass he got off. That's okay. So, we are back here at the house. I'm cleaning up oil that has leaked out of this reel all over my table. Guess I put a little too much in there. But it's a Mitchell 304. Can a Mitchell 304 have too much oil in it? I mean, is it really? Come on. It's a Mitchell. Does it really have too much oil in it? I mean, the only way I can see having too much oil in it is if you're reeling it in and it's rooster tailing it up the front of your shirt. Then there's a little bit too much in it. But this was a Frankenstein together reel that I had two of them. One was broken and I got another one from a friend of mine. And I put one together out of the two pieces, and now I have a really nice 304. Let's not talk about that. That's not why I'm back here talking. I'm talking about Pocahontas State Park. Let's just knock out the not so positive things right now. Let's just hit the negatives and completely get them out of the way. Driving there, depending on where you come from, me coming from Newport News, you're almost going into Richmond. So you do have to drive through a lot of industrial town type stuff. And not a lot. I would say it was a third of the drive. But it's so close to the park. It's so close to Pocahontas State Park. Now, once you get that sign that says State Park, it changes. And it does turn into more of a woodsy atmosphere, that type of thing. I would say that the campground during the week is definitely the time to be there because there was hardly anybody there. The campsites are very nice, very well put together. They look nice. You got a camp store, but as I read, the camp store is only open like on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, or Thursday through Sunday or something like that. And it had weird hours, which is kind of odd to me during the summertime. That's kind of weird, but hey, whatever. That's how they do things. That's how they do things. Bring your stuff and you don't have to buy anything from the store. Forget your mayonnaise? Well, just eat the tuna right out of the doggone can. That's all I can tell you. At least up until Thursday. Anyway, campsites are nice. You do have a lot of big open sites where you can back in really easily. And you also have pull-throughs. I noticed that. There's some that are actually down the middle where the road's on both sides. You can just pull right on through and never even have to disconnect your vehicle if you don't want to. Just level up everything. But when you leave, you just pull right out the other side and go. That's pretty convenient. Bathhouses are okay. I've been in worse. Kind of an outhouse spivey kind of smell. But other than that, they look nice. The place itself, there's great mountain bike trails there that I've heard great things about the mountain bike trails. Part of where I was fishing was part of the mountain bike trails when you go across the big bridge. Where I was fishing, started fishing, I guess you'd say, across there. That goes into some really nice flowing mountain bike trails. Not a whole lot of steep jumps and hills and stuff. It's very flowing, very easy for someone who may be learning or something like that. But if you want to go fast, be careful. The trees are very close to the edges. And you can slam into one. I saw some handlebar marks that looked like in a few of the trees down through there. Hopefully it was handlebars, not helmets. The campground itself, as far as the fishing goes, now that first fish of the day, that was a toothy critter that was about 2 feet long, probably about big around as my fist. I knew I wasn't going to get him on the pier because I was using a 10-pound braid with a 6-pound leader, and there was no way to get him up on the pier. The pier is it's a floating pier, so it was probably 2 foot or so, or almost 3 off the water. Then if you drag him to the bank, that's the same way. It's about 2 or 3 feet off the water, unless you can drag him to a spot where they put the kayaks in, which I would have never got him through the lily pads up there. So cool that I caught him. Cool that I hooked him anyway. I didn't really catch him. That is my second chain pickerel of the year. And I can't even remember the last time I caught one. And I've got 2 within 2 months, really. Kind of strange. And they're going after the little tiny grubs. I don't know. It has sometimes, like I've said, you know, those little big fish sometimes like little baits. Maybe it's just a snack. Now, I did get a lot of bites out there toward the middle, a lot of hits. And after Mr. Toothy Dinosaur alligator fish, I never got anything else after that. So he must have been roaming the shoreline there trying to get him a meal, and it scared everything out of there. Now, fished a whole lot of places, which brings me around to another one of the things that's you're really going to have to deal with, walking. If you don't have a boat, there's a lot of walking involved there, and a lot of it is on edges and hills and ledges that are falling into the lake. So be careful where you step. Saw one snake. He was in the middle of the water. And then I yelled to the families that were across the water there with their children because the kids kept running right down to the edge of the water, and I couldn't tell what it was. If I had to guess, eastern water snake, which is not a poisonous snake, but something about the eastern water snake, they do not really fear people. They will swim right up to you. I don't know why they do that. You would think these animals would want to stay away from people, but for some crazy reason, they just don't seem to care. It's just like that one with those kids throwing rocks in the water and the families yelling and hollering at each other and all that. That snake was going right on across the lake right to them. Maybe they've learned something from the turtles. You know, people are feeding them. Hey, what will they feed me? Will they throw me a fish? So all in all, I mean, I guess the negatives to take from this is I drove about 170 miles. We caught however many fish we caught. I would say in between 6 and 10. I caught a couple that I didn't even film because they were like that. But they did manage to get the lure in their mouth. That was a plus. There's a lot of walking, and I do believe that if you got down to some of the open areas where I was fishing, all of these are little fishing spots. You could probably catch between 4 and 6 fish at each one of these spots. I would think. I didn't do any bobber fishing whatsoever, and I probably should have because they were bluegill and they were hitting quite a bit. But I just didn't tie anything else on. I really wanted to use the artificial stuff and see what we could catch. Now, did use the bullet with the 20-pound braid. Here's a negative to that. 80 yards of 20-pound braid is what that bullet will handle. If you throw a whopper plopper 90, which is what I threw there for a while, you can completely empty the spool. So make sure your knot is tied well on the spool. Because if it's not, make sure your knot's tied well on the spool. Otherwise, 80 yards of line when it gets to the end and a whopper plopper and a leader are going far, far away. And you're not going to get it back. Not unless you want to swim 80 yards. It did control that whopper plopper very well. And the speed, that gear ratio, was at 5/8 to 1 on that bullet was great for a whopper plopper, to be honest with you. But I never even got a hit. Never even got a hit. It would have been very nice to have got that toothy creature on there because I had a 12-pound mono line on there that I think he may not have gotten through so easily. But 6-pound, he separated that pretty well, pretty easily. Anyway, all in all, I got out there and we learned something new. We went to a new place, Pocahontas State Park in Chesterfield, Virginia. Seems to be a nice campground. It's very cut and dry. It's very black and white, place. It's there's something missing. I don't know what it is. You ever been somewhere where it looks good, seems good, everything's cool, but there's just something not there. There's some life that it hasn't got. Now, maybe it's because it was a weekday. Might have been just because it's a weekday and there wasn't that many people there. But other than that, it's okay. I do not see myself camping there, but it was nice to go get in. $7 to get in, and man, what time did I get there? I think it was around 10 after 8. think it was 10 minutes after 8 when I showed up there. And we fished from 8 to 3. That's right. Well, let's just say from 8:30 to 3 o'clock. And some fish were caught. Not as many as I would have liked to have caught. I would have liked to have gone further, but the family with the kids got ahead of me, and that's when the rocks started hitting the water. Hey, what do? They're out there to have fun too. They don't know any better. So you just move on to the next thing, whatever that may be. Kind of like this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of that. It was nice to get out and finally get away from all the work that I've been doing here and getting things done and accomplished, to get out, take a drive, go somewhere I've never been. Well, somewhere that I've never fished. I've been there, but I'd never fished there. And just give it a try. This is how we learn. This is how we figure out whether or not, yes or no, if the stars are lit up. If there's a full 5 stars or a 3 stars or 2. On this one, I would say if you had a boat of some kind, some sort of flotation device to get you out there and get in those lily pads and throw a frog or something like that, I think you would get into some bass, definitely. And your little grubs, maybe a bobber and a hook, you definitely would catch fish. But you really, I think you would need a boat, and you would need to cover a lot of territory because you can fish an area out quickly. That kind of happened with the bluegill. 5 or 6 and then done. It was over with. Just how they work. It's just how they are, okay? They close their doors at a certain time, they're done. That's all there is to it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Pocahontas State Park in Chesterfield, Virginia. Caught some fish, nice campground, great hiking trails and great mountain biking trails. If you're into that, go see them. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being patient for the next video. And I will see you on the next one, whatever that next one may be. I've got nothing fancy to say. Nothing whatsoever. I got a whole lot of junk to put away. I do. I got a lot of crap to put away. I got stuff here, stuff there, stuff behind me. Boo, I got to put him away. He's going to put me away or something. Something's got to be put away.